going to go in the
Meow.
outtakes. These are going to go in the outtakes. So,
We have outtakes.
we will eventually. Hello, everyone. Presented by Wearable Fandom. Welcome to Wear Mighty Things. My name is Dustin, and I'm your host. This is a podcast all about the Roosevelt's brand and community. Fandom, fashion, and friends is what we're all about here on Wear Mighty Things. If that sounds like fun, you came to the right place, folks. I want to welcome my incredible co-host back to the podcast, recorded here on March 29th, Mermaid Day. John Madigan, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. How are you doing today?
Good. First try. Nailed it, right?
First try. You got it, man. Usually it does. Sometimes it takes a few times for you, but you got it right this time, and I'm really happy for you. Let's just
En
keep that.
fuego.
Let's just keep that going.
That's right.
Oh
That's right.
man. And can we just say the weather is absolutely beautiful outside. It is a gorgeous day on both coasts.
Yes, yes. It's 53 degrees in San Francisco and sunny, which is actually great. I mean, some people would be busting out the Uggs and the puffy jackets, but that's just an awesome day here in the Bay. And what are you looking at over on your side on Staten Island?
About 75 degrees and sunny over here. So
Ooh.
after we record this podcast, I'm definitely going to go out, enjoy the sunshine, and always happy to have that. It's been chilly recently, but today's like our first like nice like beautiful day out. So
Are you going to do cartwheels in the front yard?
I'll attempt to do a cartwheel. That'd be a fun watch, it wouldn't it?
Good enough.
We get more subscribers. I will post a video of myself attempting to do a cartwheel.
Oh, okay. All right. We will hold you to that. Want to let everybody know you can find us on Spotify, and Apple Podcast. And yet you can't. Yeah. We have a secret member of our team that we don't talk about Robert, the producer, who looked at all of the stuff and helps us out with production and things along those lines. That's why all these videos come out so fast. But we recently learned that Robert was supposed to be posting the podcast for audio formats like Spotify and Apple. And Robert let us down.
Unfortunately, I always liked Robert. And I thought he was doing his job right, and until we noticed it wasn't there, and we actually it was one of you guys who reached out to us and let us know that hey, the podcast feed wasn't updating, and we reached out to Robert, and we thought honestly, because like you and I, like we like Robert a lot, we thought that like this was an issue on Apple and Spotify, or maybe just with an issue with the RSS feeds or something like that. But in reality, Robert is just not doing it. He was just, some people just don't care about their jobs as much as they should.
No, and then they don't have them anymore. And so we'll be looking for a new producer. But thank you for Robert for all your help. But if you want, if you're an audio listener and your primary format is audio and you'd like us to resume the audio podcast, please drop a comment in the link below, or you can message us at wearablefandom@gmail.com. Let us know if that's something that's important to you, and then we will fix the issue. We'll get Robert part 2, or maybe someone else entirely, and we'll return to the audio formats. But for the most part, it seems like someone did make a mention, but mostly people didn't seem to notice. So if it's not valuable, then we don't obviously want to put any energy towards it. So let us know, friends. Let us know.
Yeah. Additionally, if you're interested in becoming a producer on the show, you can email your resume over to wearablefandom@gmail.com. And we'll be taking a look at those.
I love it. I do love it. I do love
it.
Why
not? Why not?
Right. Also want to remind you guys to like and subscribe here on our YouTube channel. We are in a push, friends. We need to reach 500 subscribers in order to monetize the channel, which helps us pay for things like the great giveaways that we've had for the last year, plus all the travel and things like that bring some of these great events to you guys. So please help us out. If you know like-minded friends who would find this content interesting, please share the show, let them know, or share any of the videos that we have on the Wearable Fandom channel. Let them know and ask them to subscribe. And we're going to try to reach that goal by San Diego Comic-Con, John. And that's coming in July. So hopefully we'll be able to close the gap and get 500 subscribers on the channel. It seems like a pretty easy goal to get.
Oh, absolutely. And we definitely have to throw a party if that's the case. We make that goal. we will definitely not buy the subscribers to make it happen, and we will definitely throw some sort of channel party on here, talking about all the amazing things that have happened on Wearable Fandom and the
Yeah.
Fandom Traveler, to lead us to this moment.
Yeah, yeah. Now, before we get too much further, what are you wearing, my friend?
I am wearing the Hoboken to Tokyo hat. One of my favorites. Absolutely love this one. And I am wearing Miami Vice. Um, Definitely one of my favorite designs. I always get a lot of compliments on Miami Vice. One of my favorite originals for sure. What are you wearing today, my friend?
Well, we have the first week of MLB, so baseball is back. So I'm wearing my kick butt Giants hat here, and of course, I'm wearing jellyfish from the Pixar collection. You can see Dory and Nemo kind of hanging out here, up here on my
Ooh,
left
I love that.
shoulder. And this is I wore this shirt to celebrate Mermaid Day, John, which is a very natural transition into our first topic today, Mermaid Day.
Mermaid
Uh,
Man.
First of all, oh, you thinking Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy?
I was thinking Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.
Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.
Barnacle Boy.
Yeah. Hey, we could totally do that. We could totally cosplay as Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.
At San Diego Comic-Con, let's do
I mean,
it.
I've seen it, but it's always some type of Timu cosplay. People never really
Oh,
put the effort in. They just do
no,
the
we wanna do
minimum.
it
They're like,
legit.
we can go Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. Okay, sure, yeah,
Yeah,
great
no,
characters.
we want to do it. I will ask you, do you have, in terms of just the shirt you're talking about, the jellyfish, do you have the exclusive shorts? Not a lot of people realize
Oh
that Shop Disney had secretly released Roosevelt's jellyfish shorts about a year ago.
no,
I don't know if you
what?
were aware of that. Yeah.
I would wear this on the
So
cruise if I knew that. That would be a tux
oh
for the cruise. I got to find that.
oh we got to track down you a pair of shorts then.
Mm. All
We're
right.
gonna find you a pair.
In search of. I need to complete the jellyfish tux. So if
Yes.
you've got the matching performance shorts, definitely let me know. Uh,
What size?
two X or 3X is usually what I will take on those, just to be comfortable. And
Yeah, of course.
yeah, yeah. Let's see what we can find there. But who are some of your favorite mermaids other than Mermaid Man, who is also not a
Some of
mermaid man? He's kind of like more like Aquaman than Mermaid Man.
my some of my favorite mermaids. As well as you know, I am totally a mermaid enthusiast. Um, Other than Ariel, um, I'm trying to think. Hold, please. If only there was a way.
Oh my god,
Famous
that's so
mermaids.
funny.
Other than Ariel, I love mermaids. I uh no.
Oh my gosh, John, you just like sucking wind. Do you remember that Tom Hanks was in a movie a really long time ago called Mermaid, where basically he found a mermaid and he had to deal with that. It's kind
I
of good.
was not. No, it's called Splash.
That's right. Splash is the movie. Yeah,
Splash is
and
the movie. Yeah, I no, I was not aware of this movie. John
yeah,
Candy, Tom Hanks, and uh Eugene Levy.
yes, that's a great
Wow.
cast. Eugene Levy
Yeah.
of what Schitt's Creek fame. I'm like, why can't I
Yeah.
remember it? Right? Um,
And he was also in American Pie.
yes, he was, and he was also on
Well,
SCTV as well.
SCTV. What is SCTV?
SCTV is an old Canadian sketch show that Rick Moranis, Eugene Levy, John Candy, trying to think of Martin Short. Like if you've ever seen
Oh
Martin
wow.
Short do the Ed Grimley character, like he did that a few
Yeah.
times. That
Yes.
character originally debuted on SCTV, and it was SCTV was Second City Television. It was a Toronto-based sketch show that was like back in the '80s. It's super old, but like as a student and performer of comedy, I always go back into the archives and try to find as much cool old stuff as I can find. And so there's a lot of really great sketches there. That was kind of like Canadian Saturday Night Live's little brother, and it turned out a lot of really really famous people.
Really? I'll have to look that up. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite mermaids, Dustin? Do you have a whole line? You got a top 10?
Well, I mean, Ariel obviously is going to be number one, but there were the mermaids that we saw in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire during the actual Triwizards Cup. You know, there were mermaids that were fighting. That was pretty cool. I really liked kind of how they had like a real negative energy to them. They were like, "We're coming for you." Um, I think if you know Ponyo, which is a Studio Ghibli film, Ponyo, the character Ponyo is kind of like an atypical mermaid. Ponyo is part fish and part human, but it's not the typical fishtail bottom with a human top. Instead, you know, Ponyo is like kind of mostly fish with kind of a human face.
Yeah.
But you know, and then of course the mermaid in Splash, which was the other one that I was going to mention as well. So there are a few mermaids in history, and this ignores, you know, the mythology of mermaids as well, John.
You have definitely impressed me with your knowledge of mermaids. I'll be honest with you, mermaids are not really something I've ever dived deep into, but now you're making me think maybe I do have to look into mermaid.
Yeah.
Maybe the problem is I don't know enough about mermaids in life.
Maybe not, maybe not. And then of course there's the great death clock song Mermaider, which I think I shared with you, which is
You
all
did,
about
yes.
mermaids. That's
Yes,
all
yes,
about
that's
mermaids,
true.
John. Mermaider, mermaider, mermaider. If you look that up, that's kind of like I don't know, it's kind of got like a death metal kind of hard metal kind of feel to it. It's also a little
Yeah.
it's a little PG-13, so don't share that with children. It's not going to be it's not going to be the Little Mermaid. It's going to be there's going to be some gore in that, so beware.
So we're coming up soon on April Fool's Day. It's coming up just a couple
That's
of
right.
days.
This
We
podcast
are
will release. This podcast will release on April Fool's Day. So people, happy April Fool's Day. Even though we recorded this a couple days earlier, happy April Fool's Day.
now, were you growing up? Were you a big prankster? Did you like doing something in school or to your parents?
I love April Fool's pranks, and I've kind of like laid off of it in the last few years because I've realized that people can get really cheesed off from it. So I've really
Sure.
tried to lay off of it a little bit. But yeah, I used to do a lot of pranks. More pranks kind of in my adult years than when I was a kid. But love pranks. I love being pranked. I love pranking. So yeah, how about you? Are you a big prankster? I mean, as if that's not obvious.
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. I'm always down for a good prank or trying to make a joke. I'll never forget this one year. I was maybe 7 or 8 years old, and I decided I was going to wake my parents up at 2 o'clock in the morning by going into their room on April Fool's Day and taking a big bowl of water and just splashing it on them at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
And yeah, look, I was 7 or 8. I didn't know any better. Um, um, and I guess to a seven, and I was probably watching like a TV show, and I saw something similar. I think what I like when I think of April Fool's Day, and I don't know why, is there was a show back in the day called Keenan and Kel, starring Keenan
Yeah.
Thompson and Kel Mitchell. Um, and they had this whole April Fool's Day episode where they did pranks on their siblings and their parents and the neighborhood and whatever. And I always thought it was funny. So yeah, I got like a bucket and I just filled it up with water and I waited until like 2 o'clock in the morning and I snuck into my parents' room and I just threw it on them at 2 a.m. I'm like, Happy April Fools, and and they did not find it as funny as I did. um, I think you could also do like funny things, like if you go into like your boss's office and like before he comes in and like unscrew like the bottom of the chair like and he falls off like that's
Yeah. You got to be careful
yeah.
with those because people are just so clumsy as it is. Like if you create a physical prank, like throwing water, that's uncomfortable, but that doesn't really damage anything. But if he slips off and like breaks his coccyx, that's going to be kind of a
Yeah.
pain in the butt. Literal pain in the butt.
Literally. I think a couple of years ago, I had just posted on April Fools. I had posted a picture that was clearly taken from outside of a plane. Like if you're on a plane and you're looking out the window, but you can kind of
Yeah.
see like the plane, and like it just looked like I was going to like a beautiful paradise. So I just posted a picture, like as if I was there, as if I was about to touch down. But I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell my. So I was getting calls from my parents and my grand, like, "Where are you? Like, like, what is this?" And that was kind of funny too. So yeah, I indulge. I indulge in pranks a little bit. Um,
Okay.
but you've stopped a little bit. You've stopped on the pranks in your later years.
I've laid off just a little bit. Part of it also has to do with like the people that you're most likely to prank are the people that you work with because they're the ones usually in your proximity for the majority of the waking hours of a week. And
Yeah,
and we're now like kind of in a work from home sort of situation. There's less people to prank.
yeah,
So
that's true.
it's definitely been a little bit lessened. But you know what? You know what doesn't lay off on the pranks? The internet. The
Well,
internet always
this is
has
true.
a huge amount of pranks every year. There's a bunch of pranks that go off. Any favorites that you have that come to mind?
YouTube traditionally always did a really good April Fool's Day prank. I always looked forward, growing up, I always looked forward to YouTube's April Fool's Day prank. And one that stands out to me in particular was they had made this kind of like commercial, essentially saying that you were going to be able to order YouTube on DVD, and it would be a subscription service that they will send you a DVD of every YouTube video ever made. And they made this amazing video of like truckloads, coming to people's houses, dropping off the DVDs, and then you would be given an envelope with either a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you want to submit in your rating, you'd mail it back. You'd mail back the thumbs up or thumbs down with your rating. Or if you want to write a comment, you would write down a comment, and then would show like it being mailed directly to the creator's house, like as if you put YouTube and not in a digital sphere. Everything was done on paper, and I thought the way they did that was really I thought it was a really funny April Fool's Day prank. What about you?
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, the company behind Cards Against Humanity has always done a bunch of really fun pranks. They got people to pay them to dig a hole, and literally they raised like $100,000 to just dig a hole, and they set up a dig clock, and it would just dig this hole. It was over and over again. Uh,
Oh my
uh,
god.
yeah, there were some fun ones. There was a online apparel company. Was it Geek something? Anyways, they
Think Geek.
also Think Geek used to have some really good ones. Yeah, is it right? Think Geek. They had offered a tauntaun with a zipper that was a lightsaber, and it was like a sleeping bag. And it turned into an actual real product because people like went crazy for it, and they wanted to like sleep in the tauntaun.
We decided, speaking about companies putting together, Roosevelt's typically does an April Fool's Day prank every year. Um, and and like I said, I always enjoy when companies do that. So I was really glad when I first got into the brand to see that they were one of the companies doing that. Famously, they came out with John Wick candles. Um, we we got the Reaper Sleeper, um, and so like they've been known to do some April Fool's Day pranks, and so we decided we were going to come up with some ideas of our own and figure out what we think Roosevelt is going to do this year as an April Fool's Day prank. Now, by the time you're watching this, you may have already seen what they do, but we're recording this right now on the 29th, and we legitimately have no clue. So I think we're just going to go one by one, and we came up with some ideas as to what we think Roosevelt's might do. So, Dustin, what is one April Fool's Day prank that you think Roosevelt's might pull this year?
Yes, Roosevelt's to offer limited edition tattoos in the design of the pins that are most famous and that they own entirely outright. And so if you want to get a Kraken tattoo, you can get a one of one Kraken tattoo, and they will actually put it on you at the New York Comic Con. They'll have a chair. John Calcanis can come out and he'll be the guy, and they're gonna put a Kraken tattoo on you, but it's only one of one. So that's
Oh
it.
wow! So nobody else can get it.
Roosevelt's
I
crack
love that.
Roosevelt's Kraken
That
tattoo.
that is that is I love that. That's a phenomenal idea. I believe that Roosevelt is going to take a play out of Apple's handbook. When they sent everyone that U2 album that nobody wanted, they're going to send all insiders a size small basketball card shirt from The Office.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Uh,
Just everybody on the current mailing list gets a size small.
Yes, regardless of what you're getting a size small of the basketball card shirts from the office.
That's one way to move all those office shirts.
That is one way to do that. Um, what else do you think Roosevelt's might be doing for April
Roosevelt's
Fools?
goes virtual, closes off their entire travel schedule, attends no further cons other than New York Comic Con, and has their own virtual events where you basically can buy exclusives online.
So completely defeating the purpose.
Completely defeating the purpose, yes. Or making
I think.
every show a drop zone, basically. That's what they're doing.
I think Roosevelt's is going to team up with their longtime partner Bucky's on a limited edition brisket scented cologne.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's really good. Brisket scented cologne.
Smells like dinner.
Smells like dinner. I love that. I love that. I love that, man. Wow. Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I anticipated one of mine was that Roosevelt's announces new new convenience store partnership with 7-Eleven, generating a brand new and unique line of clothing that looks just like the employee clothing that people wear there working at 7-Eleven.
um, I believe that Roosevelt is going to come out with a surprise drop zone with a new take on Grandma's couch called Grandma's Grave.
I bet they can sell that too. Grandma's oh, that's so dark. Oh, that's dark, dude, but that's fun. That's fun. Uh, okay, this one also a little cheeky as well. Roosevelt's announced permanent and perpetual women's cuts from now on for all shirts, which would be desired, but we know is never going to happen, unfortunately.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
I believe that Roosevelt has this is going to be a dumb one. This is really dumb. Roosevelt has announced a new partnership with Trojan for a limited edition Kunu condoms with 93% latex, 7% spandex, so you can use that 4-way stretch in all the right places.
Oh my gosh. I love it, actually. That's a great idea. That's not a stupid idea. That's funny. The question is whether or not it works, right? We don't need it if it doesn't work.
I
Oh my gosh. That's really funny.
Did you have one more?
I do have one. Adam Sandler buys Roosevelt's. He just buys Roosevelt's. That was my other one.
He just buys
announcement. Adam Sandler has bought Roosevelt's. Which would be pretty cool, actually.
My last one is Roosevelt has announced they're opening up a new line of prosthetic body parts. You lose an arm? No worries. Order this new door's arm from us.
Okay, that one's a little bit yikes. But so prosthetics, that's interesting. Wow. Okay. Yeah. All right. I like it. All right. I like it. All right. Well, there you have it. That's our predictions for the pranks that Roosevelt's will run. Last year, I believe they ran the Reaper Sleeper, which everybody chased after. And I think a couple of people actually got them. I saw people dressed up in them. None of them have come up for sale, if I recall.
I don't remember seeing one up for sale, but yeah, I think there was only 2 or 3 max. I don't think there was anything more than that.
That's fun.
Yeah, that would have been. Yeah, that would. Yeah, that would have been cool. But definitely excited to see what they come out with this time. And I think do we get it? Do one of us find if they release one of these rare things? That there's only 2 or 3 of them. Do one of us actually score the tattoo? There you go. Yeah. Do one of us score it. But we want to hear from you. Let us know what you would hope to see that Roosevelt's would do as an April Fool's Day prank in the future. So be sure to leave us a comment and let us know because we will definitely be reading all that out, and we'll pick the funniest one and give them a 15% off discount code.
All right. That sounds good. Now, we had also great big news that came out recently in that Roosevelt's got the Sandlot license back, John. That's huge. That is
Yes.
huge.
Really, really, really happy that they got that. I mean, that was the one that started all. That was the license that started this whole thing. If you remember correctly, Roosevelt's was producing shirts without the Sandlot license, and they famously got a cease and desist. But with that, they also got an offer because the shirts were great, and they loved them, and they wanted to work with them. They loved the originality and the creativity, and so they had to stop making them illegally, but after some paperwork, they got a contract, which is, I mean, I feel like for me, that's a, it's like a movie waiting to happen. You know, I mean, that's going to be a Netflix original one day. Like that's like you never hear of that kind of thing happening. And so good on 20th Century Fox for wanting to work with this company and seeing that there was potential here and creating a new line. Did you pick up anything from the Sandlot collection?
No, no, I didn't because I was out of town.
You were out of town. Okay, that's cool. But I'm assuming you had a minute to take a look at it, though. What do you think about? We did get some new favorites, but
Yeah.
also some old classics.
Yeah, I mean, of course,
What?
the Great Hambino was like the shirt, right? I mean, that was a
Of
restock.
course.
That was the big one with, with calling the shot, the Hambino, basically emulating the Babe Ruth. I like the shirts. I think it was a lot of fun. I think of the ones that I saw, I liked the Sandlot comic strip one a little bit better. Like it's basically just depicting the Legend of the Beast, um,
Yeah.
and the squints didn't exaggerate at all. So yeah, I think I like that shirt because it didn't strike me as a typical Roosevelt shirt. It looks like a comic book, and you've got to kind of get into it to learn that it's actually a Sandlot. How about you? I mean, that was the first one that kind of stood out at me.
Yeah. I mean, so definitely a great line. I think as a breakfast bowl shirt, I think the porter is perfect. I think it's excellent that they have that. I mean, that is nearly a carbon copy of
Mm.
that. But also, I was really happy to see Night Game come back as a restock.
Yes, night game.
Who Steve famously called his favorite licensed shirt. That is his favorite licensed design. So I was really happy to see that they can release that back. So people who wanted to get that shirt can great. But it's also just a phenomenal design. I love the dark. I love the fireworks with the bursts of color, even though I'm
Yeah,
colorblind. Just to have that. I mean, there's nothing like. It honestly reminds me when I was younger. Um, my mom, because like we didn't have a lot of money and stuff. Like my mom would have me take like a piece of paper and you take crayons and you would just take random colors of crayons. You just go around the whole thing and just make it super colorful. And then you take the black crayon and you go over it. And then you would take the back of a scissor and you can kind of like cut it and like kind of like make like a cool design. Does it make any sense what I'm talking about?
yeah,
You
yeah.
would like
I get it.
you would cut the black layer off on whatever you wanted to make a design. You'd have like this super colorful, cool design. And seeing that's what just kind of brings me back to like my childhood like that. But
Yeah,
I'm definitely picking up Night Game because I really, I mean, I think that's just a phenomenal design overall. And we also got our first Sandlot performance hoodie as well because everyone knows I'm a sucker for those. So that was pretty cool. But I'm with you. The comic strip one, the Forever, was really good. Overall, great drop, and I'm really excited to see how they keep going with the Sandlot. And I just think, in terms of a history thing, I'm really happy that we were able to get this license back, and also notably women's cuts. Most of the design, some of the designs got women's cuts and youth, and I was really glad to see that inclusivity.
yeah, yeah. It was definitely good, and I should have made a comment about that performance hoodie because that's actually great, and it takes the Hambino shot. It's if you're a fan of the Sandlot, and you walk in, people are going to know that. People are going to ask you questions about that. They're definitely going to recognize the license and give you lots of attention as a result. We had a lot of things that happened this week. Did you want to say something else about Sandlot?
Yeah, just one quick thing. One thing that I hope that they do restock eventually, and I don't know if maybe you've seen this on Insiders. I think it was maybe just a little bit before your time. Was the Legends Never Die reversible bomber jacket? I don't know if you've seen that one.
No.
With I gotta show you a picture of it because the I really believe in terms of design, um, the Sandlot bomber jacket that came out a number of years ago was a really nice design. Like I was really impressed with it. I'm gonna drop that link right now for you. Um, and I now that we have that license back, I really
Oh
hope that we
yeah.
get just sent it over to you. I really hope we get a restock on that. I think that is a to me that's a great design inside and out, literally.
Wow. Yeah. I love it. Exactly.
Yeah, I think
Came out in 2021, so definitely before my time. But yeah, that looks amazing. I didn't even know about that.
you see, you learn something new every day.
I love it. That's the way it should be. Yeah. It's yeah, it's really cool. And I mean, we also saw some MLB content, basically the MLB Hall of Fame. They had new shirts for Cal Ripken, and they had a really awesome Home Run Heroes shirt, which was really cool for Randy Johnson. And they have had, of course, had hats for some of the folks like Ozzie Smith and things like that. A few restocks. I am a fan of baseball, but not a fan of really a fan of these guys. So I didn't pick any of these up. But did anything catch your eyes here with Cal Ripken or the big unit?
Um, so I'm not a big baseball guy either. But no disrespect to those that do. If I were to purchase one for myself, I think Home Run Heroes was the winner in my book. That is definitely
Yeah,
a John shirt. And that one's good for me because it's kind of a mixture of everybody. It's a general baseball shirt that you can kind of wear to any game. These other ones are very specific to a certain individual, and um, for at least for me, unless you're a big fan of said individual, I just don't see a reason as to where I would wear that. But I think Home Run Heroes is a great overall baseball shirt that you can kind of wear anywhere and get away with it. And speaking of baseball, though, we have the Big League Chew Drop dropping in about an hour and a half from
yes,
this recording. Um, and so we did see a teaser for something kind of new, first new to retail, and that is going to be the backpack. We are getting our first backpack for sale. Uh, Famously, there was some prototypes given out a couple of years ago by Steve Gebhard, the founder of the I guess the 1.0 backpacks. They were all sent out around Christmas time, and the people were lucky to receive it. And I think that's awesome. It caused a lot of controversy though on insiders. People were going nuts in terms of who's going to get one, not get one, and certain people's feelings got hurt and stuff. It was kind of crazy how all that happened, and it just felt like for a couple of days everybody was just begging for a backpack. Every post was just begging for a backpack,
yeah.
and that was a bit much. But now it seems to be that we are going to get our first backpack for sale with Big League Chew. Dustin, what do you expect the price point to be at?
It's really going to be interesting. I think it's going to be 85 dollars. That's my feeling.
$85 for a backpack.
Yeah.
And what would you say is like an average cost of a standard backpack right now? If you were to go out
It
to Target and
depends,
buy it.
but I will say 85 bucks, you're paying for the license. You're not paying for the quality of that backpack because I can point out a bunch of travel backpacks. Even, I'm trying to reduce my footprint on Amazon. But if I get, so I have a backpack, a Thule backpack, and it is $116, but it's a 32 liter backpack that's bigger than this backpack. It's stronger than this backpack. It's built and ruggedized for travel, and the difference in price is really kind of crazy. So if you're trying to buy something that you can really travel with, you're going to be paying over $100 for a lot of those things. If you're just looking for a cheap kind of like backpack that you can bum around with, you can find those for all. I mean, you can find them at $20 if you're really looking. But anything worth value is probably going to be over 100 for sure.
Right, and you don't think we're there yet with these back. We don't know what additions or upgrades that they've possibly have made to these backpacks since the original prototypes were sent out a couple of years ago. I mean, we'll have to wait, see on insiders and see what people post and whatnot about
Yeah.
it before we can decide about purchasing one ourselves. It would be interesting to see, though. Hopefully, I will say to Steve Roosevelt's credit, with these new items coming out. We saw it with the parka, we saw it with pins, and we saw it with the DMT collection. Co-founder John has been making a video on drop day when we've seen a new item for sale, or a day before drop day. Kind of explaining, giving history, and kind of giving a little bit more, some more talking points, and kind of showing more in depth these products. And so I'm hoping we get one of those at the backpack, because we have seen them talk about, doing upgrades and listening to, customer feedback, and seeing people want and seeing what would be good for this kind of backpack. So I'm hoping we get one of those today with the Big League Chew backpack, and seeing what kind of upgrades and stuff are made. But I do
Yeah.
like that they're making those videos, though. I think that's been an upgrade. That's not something that we've seen before. It seems to be kind of a newer thing we're seeing with newer products.
Yeah, yeah, and it makes a lot of sense. I had not gotten one of those prototype backpacks, but I did get to see them, and I did also look at the pictures. I went back and found my comments that I posted to John a year ago, which tells you how much time they spend bringing these products to market. We saw a parka earlier this year, probably more because it was still cold and they could learn during the winter to help inform the rest of the cycle. But in that video that you're talking about for the parka, John also talked about the fact that they've been working on parkas for a few years. The athletic wear that just got announced, which we're going to talk about in a moment, also they've been working on that for 5 years. So they spend a lot of time thinking about this stuff, and I really hope they do account for some of the opportunities for feedback. There were a few things that I called out and sort of submitted. I thought that padded handles on the top versus a loop grip makes the bag easier to carry when you have to carry it, because you can't always rock that backpack. The size of the backpack is not really good for people at my height, but if you're trying to like find one that's in the middle, it feels like to me it feels like an extra large lounge fly. And I don't look at lounge flies are basically small spaces to store
Decorative
stuff,
pieces.
but they're mostly decorative. Like you can put a phone in there, you could put a battery charger in there. You could put some valuable things in there, but you're not carrying that with your laptop in it. You're not taking it around to carry a meaningful amount of stuff and make it easy on you. I also asked for D rings. I don't know if you know, but like when you're the straps, there was originally no D ring, and the D ring are the little rings that are on the actual strap, so you can slide something in there. Most people put like sunglasses or something in there that they need to get easy access to, that they don't want to have to take the bag off to get at. So I suggested that they put D rings on the straps. Um, you could also hook a water bottle to that if you needed to, like if you're managing kids at the park. And then I thought one of the big ones was a reflective strap on the back. So sometimes you'll see like a leather piece in the back of backpacks that looks like this, and it'll be silver. That's really supposed to be a security feature. It's not a. It's to allow cars to see your backpack. If a kid takes this backpack out and it doesn't have any reflective stuff, and they're out like trying to get to the bus stop in the morning, and they have to walk away where they have to get closer to cars than they would like, you really want to have some type of reflective kind of strip that will help set them aside. Now, people don't put this stuff on lounge flies because they don't look at lounge flies the same way. Lounge fly is not a general purpose backpack. So this, at least a prototype, was sort of positioned to be a general purpose backpack. If the Big League Chew is the same way, to be honest, it's gonna struggle to me to be a bag that I'm gonna want to carry. Of course, of of course, I love the of course I love the design. Of course I love the Big League Chew design and layout. That's awesome and cool. But one, I don't need another backpack. I've got too many bags. Like I'm a bag person, John. I think I don't know if you
Yeah.
know this or not, but I have lots of bags, and I ought to just have a channel to just review bags, because bags disappoint and frustrate me so often. So I'm excited to see what changes that they've made. Even if they haven't made any changes, the bag can still be great. It's just not going to be a general purpose bag. And when it's not a general purpose bag, then you have to say, how much am I going to pay for this? Like, how much am I going to pay for a bag that I'm going to wear when I go to baseball games, which is once or twice a season? Or when I go to school and things like that. So I think it really, when it comes down to positioning here, they have to be very sharp about what it is that they actually want. And if you're just buying the the design, look, you could buy the backpack that you want and get somebody to post market, put the design on there. Go buy the Sandlot
Sure.
shirt. Go buy the Big League Chew shirt. You can actually get that done. That's what Kyle did with the Moss shirt from New York, right? And made that that backpack that he created in the flag.
Nope.
No,
Nope.
that's not what happened.
N-
Oh,
That's
did
not
John
what
make that
happened.
for him? Did John make that
Steve
for
made
him?
that for
Steve made that for
Steve
him.
made that. That's
Uh,
what Kyle has is an actual Roosevelt's backpack that Steve had made as a prototype, and that was shipped out to him.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, I'm going to cut that out then. I'll cut that part out. Um,
Yeah.
but you could take the fabric and the design if you want and put that on another bag professionally with somebody who knows how to do that. That way, you get the bag you want from a functional standpoint with the design you like from a visual standpoint, and then you've got the best of both worlds. Don't ask me how much that's going to cost because it's not going to be a mass produced thing. That's going to be a one of one thing that you do there. But the point is, like, make sure that the bag is going to be useful to you. So that's kind of my riff. I haven't seen the updated ones, but I'm very excited that we're going to start seeing these, and I think the Roosevelt's is really good at taking feedback around the product. So I'm excited to see how this one for Big League Chew looks different.
Definitely. I'm really looking forward to it, and we will be finding that out in the next hour or next hour and a half. So I'm definitely excited to see what happens there.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. Now, where we have the TMT beta, um, the DMT collection is now out. Um, and you were in the original DMT beta over a year ago, like you were just
yeah.
saying, and it was something that really couldn't be talked about. So do you want to explain like where the now that the stuff is actually out? Maybe you can just talk a little bit of how you got involved in the beta and where this came from because a lot of people didn't know about it.
Yeah, so there's a number of different Roosevelt's groups, but one of them was Swolsevelts. And Aaron, the whale hunter, had basically said that, hey, Roosevelt's is looking for opinions of people who are athletically minded. Sign up on this link, and they gave us a link, and we purchased. So I bought fairly generic DMT shorts with the liners, and the idea was to wear them around and kind of give some feedback. Now that happened a year ago, and when it happened, I asked Aaron if we could talk about it in the podcast. He's like, no, 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 you can't talk about it, and we'll let you know when you can talk about it. So it's been a year. It's literally been a year that
Yes.
that we weren't able to really talk about the fact that the company was investigating going into this direction, and now we see the shorts that have kind of come out. The designs for these are really cool, and I think the thing I want to emphasize on for people is that these shorts are great. And now some people don't like shorts that have liners in them, and I definitely can understand where that comes from. But I've been jogging and sort of using them around the city, and they're really comfortable. To be honest, they've got a front pull. I should probably just do a separate video to just talk about the ones that I have so I can give some people feedback on them. But I think they did a great job with the production. The quality is good. They stand up to the to washes. Um, they've got cool color patterns, and I'm just blown away by them. In fact, it's it's something that I'm hoping that people give a try. These ones are the V2 of the line shorts. So I guess they had a V1 of the line shorts that they did some time ago, where they had a little bit of a longer leg, and these are a little bit shorter. I don't know by measurements, so I probably should get my facts straight here before saying too much.
Well, so they looks like they're selling both V2 and V1 right now.
Yeah, yeah, but only all, I guess all of them are marked as new on the site. That's why I was a little bit confused. I'm like, did these come out before? No, they did not. So I'm not really sure what the difference is between V1 and V2 right now, other than the length. I'm actually excited a little bit, John, because we're getting into the swing of things, and now I'm been with the community long enough to remember sort of the patterns and the flow of things. And I'm hoping
Yeah,
that that actually helps with preparing content and stuff for the channel. So yeah, we'll have to see how that all shakes out. But very exciting, and participation in the beta. Just to close out on that, we were able to buy the shorts. I think we got a small discount on them. And then we were told to wear them and give feedback, and did that. And us responded to a survey, put my thoughts and feedback in there. I still wear those shorts though. I'm taking them with me on the cruise. Speaking of which,
perfect.
how do we go all this way without talking about the Roosevelt's cruise? John, we're coming up to what, 3 weeks from now?
Yeah.
We're
we're
getting
we're just
there.
under 30 days. We're just under 30 days and I am, oh my god. Oh god, I can't believe it. We're here. It's not even, it's not even down the street, it's around the corner. Like,
Yes.
it's we're here. We're kicking it, and I just posted the first group activity event for the cruise. It's a little bit of a contest. I don't know if you saw when we post it, but I'm going to
Really?
explain it for those who may have not seen it. Is two insiders who I absolutely love, a great couple, Forrest and Ashley Davis, both really creative, fun minds, and last year they had went on a carnival cruise, and on every cruise, or say most cruises, they have a portrait studio where you can go and you can get professional photos taken, and most people use that as an opportunity to get a nice family photo, or couple pictures together. Like, they have different backdrops and like accessories and things that you can use. Well, Forrest and Ashley decided to take this as an opportunity to make awkward photos, where they went out of their way to make these really funny, awkward photos with weird poses, and it took insiders by storm. People loved what they were doing. I thought it was great. So after talking with them, we decided that, because our ship has a portrait studio on it and there's many opportunities for professional photos and whatnot, that we need an awkward photo contest. So throughout the ship, uh, I totally encourage all of you to get together with your friends and come up with some awkward photos. You don't have to buy the photo. You can send the picture with the watermark on it. And come up with your best awkward photo, awkward professional photo. And so if you are so do that, and Forrest and Ashley are going to be judges. They're going to announce the winner, and that winner will get a Roosevelt's prize. We're going to have different prizes that we hand out for the different activities that are happening on the ship. And so I'm really excited to see where everyone's creative minds get together and um, come up with some awesome, come up with some awesome, funny, awkward photos. I'm really excited to see what people do, and I totally just encourage everybody to get together and go to the portrait studio and just come up with some fun photos. And I will announce the second one right here, right now. The second thing that I have planned for the cruise, there's a couple of just different group activities and group events and whatnot, and this right here I'm excited for because and I enjoy creative minds. I enjoy people who like to go out and have fun, do silly things and whatnot. I have ordered a $50 digital camera. It's a regular point and shoot digital camera with an SD card in it. And on the first day of that cruise at the sail away party, I'm going to hand that camera to somebody, random person. And I'm going to instruct that camera get pushed around. Anybody who wants it can have it, and it gets sent around the ship to other insiders. And I want you guys to fill it up. I want you guys to fill up the camera, and then on the last day, I want it brought back to me, and then I will then look at the pictures, and we'll post the pictures and see uh, what people took and what people did. And I think it's just going to be an interesting idea to see where people take it and what people do with it and what pictures people take. And so I'm calling it the community camera. And I just it's an experiment. It's an experiment that can go really well, or somebody can take it and throw it overboard. We'll see what happens. But I think with lots of I think with everybody drinking and having fun, and some funny photos will get taken on this thing, and I think it's just be a fun thing that gets passed around. But I'm really looking forward to the cruise. I'm so excited that you're coming, Dustin. It means a lot to me, especially because you're going to be at Star Wars Celebration just a few days prior, and so for you to then take and make the trip to Fort Lauderdale, right after being in Japan is absolutely huge. But we will be recording a podcast on board, and so really excited to do that with you. And I just really, really, really hope everybody has an amazing time. That is my
Everyone
number one goal.
will. Everyone will have an amazing
I
time. Don't you
I'm
sweat it.
really I how could I not? This has been crazy. This is it's like I really can't believe that it's almost here.
Yeah, well, it's almost here, and it is time for us to wrap it up here, my friend. And thanks to everybody for listening. Please, as John asked, please share your favorite pranks or thought of what you think Roosevelt's is going to prank. We'll all be watching today and seeing what actually comes of it. Drop us a line, wearablefandom@gmail.com, and let us know. And as we said, John, we're going to pick the best one out and give out a 15% off code. So those are not easy to come by. Make sure that you take advantage of that. As John said, we'll be on the cruise pretty soon. So if you're going, we'll look forward to see you guys. Please say hi to us on the show. If you're going to Star Wars Celebration, wave and say hi to me. I'll be there, and I'll be, of course, reporting back for the channel. There'll be a wearables tour of Star Wars Celebration, so don't anyone worry that we'll be left out of that content. I'll do my best to bring all the best to you. And lastly, a plug for our other channel, the Fandom Traveler. Please check that out, like and subscribe. That's all about travel to fan events like Comic-Con, like Star Wars Celebration, like the Roosevelt's Cruise. And we'll be making content over there. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, please check it out. There's a link in the description below. So I think that'll do it for us, John. And until next time,
Where
wear
my
mighty
mighty
things.
things.
So long, everybody.